Who's this dude? Why does Zoro turn Azura? And what makes the Wado Ichimonji such a bad boy blade? Welcome back. I'm about to drop some of the spiciest Zoro material I've seen yet, and hopefully solve some more mysteries in the One Piece world. Like and sub, it helps hugely, and let's get into this. The Wado Ichimonji is one of the most powerful of the 21 great swords in the One Piece world, and is currently held by Zoro. It's the only one of Zoro's blades that managed to block Yoru without being split in two. The sheath and hilt are white, which on the surface likely reference the commonly used training swords called white katanas. This connects to the Isshin Dojo, where Zoro trained and we first saw the Wado. The blade was forged by Shimatsuki Kozuburo, potentially in Wano, however we don't know when. Oda drew a personification of the Wado which looks exactly like a young Kozuburo, so I'm thinking it was when he was younger. Moving forward a little in time to 55 years before the present day, Kozuburo left Wano alongside 24 others. This was the same year his magnum opus Enma was given to Odin as a present when he was 4. 3 years after this, Kozuburo lands on an island in the East Blue with 9 others from the ship and defends the locals from mountain bandits. It's said that Zoro's mother was a daughter of the mountain chief, so it's likely at this point or soon after that Shimatsuki took in a young terror and settled, establishing Shimatsuki village. Also around this time, Kozuburo had a son called Kiyoshiro, who went on to run a sword school, where the Wado Ichimonji was displayed on a wall, suggesting the sword came with them from Wano. This is where Zoro and Kuina trained together. After Kuina's 2001st victory over Zoro, during the night of a full moon, she breaks down, lamenting the fact her dream of becoming the greatest swordsman in the world is unachievable, after her father told her women can't be the strongest. Hours later, she was found down these stairs, supposedly unalive. Now hold that in your mind for a minute. So, the Wado Ichimonji is the only sword that Zoro has throughout the story. Another power of Zoro's we've seen from the beginning is his Azura form, possibly meaning that Azura form is in fact a product of the Wado Ichimonji. The term Azura references enemies of the god, which is what we hear the D clan referred to as, indicating their ability is demonic and ties to the will of D. Sukiyaki tells us Enma is known for the sword that can split the earth down to hell, and in chapter 955 we see by using the Wado Ichimonji it's easier for Zoro to wield Enma. This highlights the Wado, like Enma, ties to hell, which again connects to the enemies of God in the One Piece world, the D clan. We know Ushimaru was a descendant of the legendary Ryuma, who I think was in Joy Boy's crew back in the day, tying Ryuma to the will of D. Now, seeing as Zoro is a descendant of Ryuma, this would also connect him to the will of D. We can also take a look at Zoro's dad's name, Arashi, meaning storm. As both Corazon and Law said, the D will always cause another storm. Zoro was called a demon since the beginning of the series, which again is another tie to the D clan, which we see highlighted by the attack Onigiri, which translates to demon slash. In 1059 we got a cheeky treat from the animators where Zoro was shown to have horns, so from all of this we can pretty safely assume Zoro has ties to the D clan and demons, and potentially so does the Wado Ichimonji. According to Kozuburo, each sword has its own personality, and since they often test their owner, weaker swordsmen may succumb to its power and die. Stronger swords tend to earn the title of cursed blades because of this. However, rather than the sword being cursed, it's most likely the wielder is just not strong enough. This might explain exactly what caused Kuina to lose consciousness and fall down the stairs, seeing as it happened very shortly after saying, "It's your funeral," using the Wado and giving up her dream. So, was Kuina really rivaled by down these stairs, or was she killed by the hellish Wado Ichimonji? After all, falling down the stairs does kind of resemble a descent, in this case possibly to the underworld or hell, both of which we know have ties to the Ichimonji. Now to get insanely spicy, this could all mean that this Grim Reaper dude Zoro saw in Wano is in fact the guy who killed Kuina, and was coming to take Zoro. It may even be a manifestation of the Wado or its previous owner, which would be possible if they were currently buried in Wano. Additionally, considering all the ties between Wano and the moon, the blade's power may have heightened by the full moon that we saw take place over Kuina and Zoro's final battle. I think Kuina used the Wado while in a vulnerable state while her will was weak, and by fighting Zoro, the sword chose him over her. This could be because he's naturally strong, however it's more likely related to the fact that Zoro, even though he was weaker than Kuina, was still believing in his dream overall, and had a strong will to achieve it. Also, it could tie into his Shimatsuki heritage. Interestingly, Kuina's father seems surprisingly calm about her death, and gives the Wado Ichimonji to Zoro without hesitation when he asks for it. Strange. It's possible he knows more about the sword, what happened to Kuina, and the fact that the Ichimonji somehow chose Zoro. However, nothing's been revealed yet. An additional little bit of spice we've been looking at is the possibility that this blade may be particularly dangerous to women, which is why during the flashback we see Zoro and Kiyoshiro both mention gender, and why Kuina herself indicates she started puberty, thus ending her dream. Kuina's dad, despite seeming like a good dude, told her women can't be the strongest. So this all fits nicely as we've yet to have a single female in Kuina or Zoro's family tree fully revealed. If we want to get really deep, then with a little perseverance you can find a crying woman's face appear in flames during Zoro's fight with Kaido. We know Zoro's grandmother is Furiko Shimatsuki, the sister of Ushimaru, who looks identical to Zoro. She was also on the boat that left Wano with Kosaburo 55 years ago, so it's possible the blade was taken to Shimatsuki village by her, and may even been forged for her. Kiyoshiro doesn't use the blade, so it's doubtful it's his. Another interesting female who may have once used the blade is the aforementioned Terra, Zoro's mum. We don't know much, but her name means earth. In One Piece, earth is the opposite of the heavens, which we associate with the world government and celestial dragons, and she's also Zoro's mother, so then that might equate to ties to the D-clan as well. The fact that she was the daughter of a mountain tribe suggests a relationship between the mountain bandits and the Shimatsuki. This relationship would either be good, with their grievances resolved by marrying their clans via Zoro's parents, or could be the opposite, with war and Terra being saved or captured. Either way, we know Shimatsuki village still stands, and likely the mountain bandits do too, as we see with Higama, among others. Now, there is more to this. The year Luffy ate the Gomu, Dragon went to Shimatsuki Island and defended the village. Much later in the story, we see the flags of the Revolutionary Army actually include the Shimatsuki crest, so it's very possible Dragon went to Shimatsuki village to recruit swordsmen and potentially a very significant secret school of swordsmiths. Try saying that 5 times fast. This school would rival the Kitetsu school and would go a long way to explaining the mystery behind why Kozaburo and the Wado left Wano to begin with. However, to hear more about that, you'll have to tune into the next vid, so sub and drop a like. If you made it this far, you've just won a leisure blast that will be landing in approximately 3, 2,